Well, hello to the DoubleGDP community. This is Jay Newman with a partnerships update for the sprint that's ending here on March 18th. A lot has happened both in the world and in our business in the last 2 weeks of this sprint here. So just a quick update on what's going on our side. The first most important thing is that as the coronavirus has kind of spread around, and as COVID-19 has increased, our partners over at the Charter Cities Institute made the very sensible decision to cancel the Charter Cities Conference, and that was just right as our last sprint was ending. So our team here had really been looking forward to that conference as a critical opportunity to actually like build out new types of partnerships and relationships on the future customer's perspective, right? Like these are probably the best gathering of founders of new types of communities, charter cities, and also just kind of forward-thinking communities that were going to be there at that conference. And what's been fortunate for us in the last 2 weeks is that even though that conference has been canceled, there was really great opportunity to still reach out to a lot of the folks who were going to be there. We've been using the almost as an excuse the fact that the conference was canceled as an outreach tool to basically say, hey, we were really looking forward to meeting you at that conference and spending time getting to know you there. Could we find a way to do that virtually as well? And since our team here at DoubleGDP, just like many throughout the world right now, are kind of doing our work remotely and virtually, there's a lot of communication and connection that can still be made from our own homes, despite our inability to travel to Joburg for that conference. We've been connected with two different speakers who we were going to spend some time who are going to be some of the keynote folks at that conference, and that we've reached out to and we've scheduled some calls with. We've gotten to know a company that is working to build new types of prototype communities in India, and we're going to have our first conversation with them in the next week. And we are also setting up some ongoing conversations with our own customer at Inkwashi, to basically kind of schedule a customer council meeting that we otherwise might have done in person while we were in Joburg, and I think we'll probably set that up over the next few weeks to be done remotely instead, which is great. I think that the venue works really well. So we're feeling really fortunate that the community around the Charter Cities Institute and that conference is still kind of like feeling connected to each other. And they're honestly, those folks we're really hoping to hear from thought leaders like us about how we see the movement around charter cities and new types of cities moving and evolving, and the role of technology in it. The responsiveness to our outreach messages, which honestly in this case are kind of cold outreach messages, but the response rate has been really strong. So we're going to continue that process of just kind of working through if there were 10 people that we really wanted to meet at that conference, just reaching out to them and setting up the calls anyway. So that's a really important thing that's come out on the partnership side in the last couple of weeks. The second most important thing is that we continue to have ongoing conversations with the founder of another new and potentially charter city. So those conversations have kind of really moved forward, and we're feeling great about what the next steps might be there. We'll probably talk a little bit more offline about how those next steps are evolving and how we're beginning to talk about what a strategic partnership there might look like, and what we can really do with that city's needs right now for them to kind of like bring their early residents in, and get them all kind of like set up in the city. What's the right role for technology in that? And then the third thing that's been going on the partnership side is, we've just stayed in really close touch with a few people who had interest in kind of like being on our team at some point in time. And we've been back in touch with with at least one individual on the partnership side there who is just continues to be really excited about what we're doing and is interested in either kind of introducing us to some of their engineering colleagues who might either play a consulting role on our team or be able to invest in what we're doing in some sort of other way, and or the same thing for themselves. So there's no better time, I think, in the world to just reach out to your relationships and let them know that you're thinking of them, that you're invested in what they want to achieve, and you really just kind of want to see how they're doing. And then right now, holding on to those relationships is the most important thing that we can do. And so that's certainly what we're doing with our customer over in Zambia, and what we're also doing with just the broader set of strategic partners that we have. So that's it for our update this sprint. I imagine that a lot of change will have occurred in the next 2 weeks, because that's the pace of change that the world is kind of like playing under right now, and in the age of COVID-19. So let's stay in touch, and we will be back in 2 weeks at the end of the next sprint. Talk soon. Bye.